What a treat this interview was. Dr. June has been a household name in the foreign community here in Ulsan for over a decade. His resume is second to none. General practitioner, team doctor for the Korean Basketball League, director for several international clinics. He shed light on some of the questions lots of us have, like why do doctors always overprescribe medication here? And do my kids really need antibiotics for an ear infection? We also touch on some controversial topics as well, and share some personal anecdotes about life and family. Dr. June is proud to be an open book as he feels it helps him better connect with his patients. He is a truly hardworking individual who continues to make personal sacrifices in order to keep the communities he cares about happy and healthy. Thanks for stopping by. This episode is sponsored by Dr. English. Why wait until you're on vacation to start practicing your English? The vaccine rollout is underway, and we are going to all be on a plane soon enough, ready to explore once again. Nothing will prepare you more than one-to-one conversation with Dr. English teachers. Arrange and participate in a class from the comfort of your own home at a time that is convenient for you. Call 010-4591-1496 for a free sample class. Open your doors to endless opportunities. Dr. English.
You are now tuned into This Korean Life with your hosts, Brian and Nate.
All right, welcome back to another episode of This Korean Life. Today is we got a special guest in, Dr. June, Facebook famous in Ulsan. You come highly recommended by many people, many long-term residents here. Number one general practitioner, taking care of the kids, and very comfortably. I know from experience having to deal, especially with when your children are sick. When my daughter was born, she had a hole in her heart.
Oh.
And when we went to the hospital, it was all in Korean. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And I asked the doctor, like, generally the interview was all in Korean. And I said, do you speak English? And she turned to me and in perfect English, she held it back. She went like, we expect spontaneous closure within 6 months. I went, could you not say that at the beginning of the, of the thing? And I think
very, very typical. It happens all the time.
But I mean, conversing as fluently and naturally as you do, I think it puts a lot of people in a very comfortable state and not so uncomfortable in foreign land, right? Awesome. Anyways, welcome and thank you very much for taking time. Your Korean doctors, I know, have no time for anything. It's work and sleep. So thank you very much for making it out here.
Always welcome, and always welcome. So I'm so happy to be invited, and I'm really happy to enjoy my Friday night.
Yeah. No burgum, but
but I will enjoy.
Maybe we can pour a little whiskey in your coffee. Anyways, I think a good place to start in what initially attracted us to your post or was on your Facebook. You mentioned recently you've had a little medical scare.
Oh yeah,
Your...
I was so stupid, and I had the small abdominal pain on Friday night in May, and I just regarded nothing. And then I have a more severe pain on the Saturday, and then the Sunday almost died, and I found myself just something wrong. And I went to the University Hospital's emergency room with my wife, and then they found.
Do you get VIP entrance there?
No. It's always the same. Yeah. Emergency room is always same.
Okay. Yeah.
And I took the CT scan, and then I found my small bowel, the purpurate, and the pancreatitis, and also the start of the sepsis.
Oh wow!
And
so you caught it just in time, man.
Yeah, and I got an emergency operation and the Sunday night, and I stayed 15 days
in the hospital.
Yes.
Like I just mentioned, I wouldn't even attribute it just to doctors, but people generally in Korea are very busy and like to maximize their time and kind of fill the schedule. You don't want any downtime, right?
Yeah.
Of relaxing. Time is money, and you want to be successful and whatnot. Since having your medical scare, has anything changed? did your mind change at all, or was it just like, oh, that's 15 days out of my work? Has anything changed? Did you get a new perspective on life after almost succumbing to the sepsis?
Yeah, sure. This is because in the I always think this God gave me my second life, and I think this is always God give us some warning sign, and this is one of the warning sign God gave me, and God told me, "This is June. Be careful. This is your last chance."
Yeah.
And also, I used to be the workaholics. It's always Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. But I change. Actually, I think I'm a 50-50 change, because I try to enjoy more my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm the 50 this year.
You look like you're 27.
No way.
Jeez Louise. We're looking at the Facebook page. Like, it says 50, but I don't know. He doesn't look 50. You got the Asian genes there, man.
So another 50 is the second kid and my third kid. They are still young. So I need more money, take care of them. So I have to work or not. So I'm trying to change my lifestyle also. Yep.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
So do you plan eventually to get back to a full schedule, or are you just gonna?
Is it part-time cruising until?
This is until this Sundays I have to have my schedule, and the Monday from next Mondays this coming Mondays I have to back my normal schedule, but I will reduce my work, and also try to enjoy my healthy food.
Yeah, good. That's important. I had kind of more, not so much physical, but more mental anxiety and whatnot from overworking myself years ago, and that initially when you have that feeling or that breakdown, it's quite scary, and you view it as a negative thing, but reflecting back on it, possibly one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So anyways, I hope you can. I would love to see you on the golf course on a Tuesday morning. Is that the dream?
Yeah, I would talk to later, but you also change the idea about doctor. I'll talk to later.
Cool.
Yeah.
You seem to be very open-minded, very free-thinking. Maybe independent, which is not always so common in Korea or even maybe in Asia. What do you attribute that to? Like that kind of carefree, I can talk about anything, I can say anything, whatever. Usually it's people are very self-conscious of what people think of them, and always being careful of what they say and what they do and how they act.
Actually, I think it's the human beings is the personal or social relations is if you open, naturally the others open. If you hide something, the other always try to hide. So I try to myself 100%, and I want to see the other person's 100%.
Yeah.
We've been open here for 20 years, but I haven't found more than 2 Koreans yet.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny one. I teach at the YWCA, a women's center class there for women who have left the workforce. Now they want to be retrained and re-enter the workforce. So I run a course there with a colleague. And I tell them all the first day. I say, look, I'm this tall. I weigh this much. My shoe size is this big. I have this much facial hair. Look how hairy my arms are. Everything. So they just say, oh, okay, now it's boring. I don't know. But the other guy who I work with is Korean, and he doesn't tell them a thing. And always when we get down to the end of 3 months, they're always like, do you know, is he married, or what's his job, and what does he do? And I talk about my family and working on John Williams' farm, and they know everything about me because the same. We do an introduction. Usually he has the first class, and it's just like, hi, I'm Sally, da, da, da. But I tell them, married or single, what's your age? And they're like, oh, privacy. I'm like, well, listen, if it's privacy, then you're 65. It's easy. You're an old dinosaur.
It's privacy till you turn on social media. And just look at what I ate for breakfast. Here's my bedroom.
Just tell us your age, and by tomorrow, everyone will forget. I guarantee you, nobody will remember. But if you don't tell it, my experience in Korea is that everyone's going, how old do you think Dr. June is? How many kids do you think he has? Do you think he has a job? Do you think he has a wife? Do you think? And that's my experience. That it becomes cliquey. And how old do you think she is? She looks 50, but she might be 20. But and I hate that atmosphere. So I just say, let's get it all out.
Yeah, right.
Let's get it all out on day 1. But at the end of the semester, they're always asking me, "Do you know what he does? What's his job?
Oh.
Is he married? What? I have a friend who might want to date him," and I'm like, "He's married." Anyways, it's really funny to me because it's really hard to find that mentality in Korea.
Yeah, also always I think it's the people, especially doctors, they can see what they know exactly. So that's why we have to study more. That's why we have to need to experience more.
Yeah.
So actually I'm divorced. Also I have 3 kids. One is 20 years old. He now studying the Seoul Korea University.
Yeah.
And my second daughters and my third boy, I'm not their biological fathers, but I'm so lovely take care of them.
That's awesome.
Yes, and so I know what I feel, what I get stress from the divorce, and I also know what a stress from my second wife and my new kids. So if my patient got a stress and they complain about the symptoms, I can understand.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I try to open myself, because if I open for me, and exactly my patient they open.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think once everything is on the table, we realize that we're a lot more similar than we are. Than we are.
And that, as soon as you say divorce, you might get a and then 5 minutes later, the news cycle keeps changing, and there's something else that's bigger and crazier and more important. Can you speak a little bit to the stigma in Korea of divorcees and being divorced? Like, I think for us in the statistics, Korea statistically always had a high divorce rate.
Yeah, right.
But being in the education field, nobody ever talks about it. Nobody. Kirogi appa. My dad lives in Busan. My mom, we live in Daegu. And that's just considered normal. And I don't know if they don't associate that with divorce, like young kids, but what is it like? Because where we're from, I mean, maybe when I was in school, it was not so common, but by the time I graduated high school, I mean, the variations of families, what are now normal traditional families, are A to Z. I mean, there's not one particular family that's considered.
The nuclear family's a thing of the past, basically.
But I mean, there's so many now. If it's a widowed spouse, if it's a divorce, if it's a gay marriage with kids, if they were adopted, if it's an international adoption, there's so many different variations, and that has just kind of become normal.
I will tell my episode as my daughter and my little boy, they study in the Jeju international schools, and my wife asked me to, how about you do the governor for the governing body. So we had among the parents groups, we had an election. So I have to say what I do as a governor, and there are so many candidates in governing body. And then when all the parents, when they saw the paper about me, as because my daughter and my kid, we have a different family name. So,
emergency!
All right.
Sound the alarm!
Yeah. So I directly tell them, I'm not their biological father, but I love them. And I don't want you divorce, but if you divorce, try to find a husband like me.
Nice, Hey, approaching with humor.
And I elected as governor.
Nice.
So.
But I think that honesty is the best policy, and they're just scared shitless to say it.
But dude,
they're afraid. They're so afraid of what everyone's going to think. But as soon as you can get over that hump, and now you've done it a few times in a few different settings, you can say it anywhere and be confident and know that it only matters what you think of you and you understand you. And that it doesn't matter what some random mom in the parent council thinks. And there you go. Now they respect you for it. And you're the governor. I think it's an awesome policy. Good for you.
Yeah, and also I will tell another episode. Is when I talk about this is my new wife, my real boy. He asked me only one thing: Dad, you happy? I said, awesome, yeah, I'm happy. Okay, let's do that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. If you hire something, always you can be very, very negative. Just be positive, and nobody can be perfect.
Sure.
Yeah.
But where does that come from? That's what we would love to spread that mentality, and I think a lot of foreigners are ambassadors for that, for multiculturalism, for globalization, for the more progressive societies. And Korea is still very, very traditional in a lot of ways. In some ways, no, but in lots of ways. Where does that come from?
For me?
Yeah. Was that from living in the States? Like for your son to think like that is incredible.
Yeah. But if you think more higher level, I mean the higher altitude, you can see the bigger world, okay? And also, if you regard yourself as not perfect, that means that you can be improved. So, yeah, that is from.
You take the approach that no one's perfect, and why hide the flaws? Why put on the I mean, especially with social media, like we always talk about, everyone's projecting.
Yeah, right.
Everything's perfect.
Beautiful life.
Look at me, you know, and that's it's absolutely not true, and it's good that, I mean, we got a real person here having
there is like a different energy when someone owns their
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's the same, like we think of the Donald Trump thing. Instead of going up on stage and making lies for 3 more hours of it, just say, yes, I was wrong, and it's done, and it goes away. Instead, they ask him the same question for 3 years because he keeps lying about the same thing. It's easier just to own it.
Yeah, as I'm a Korean, but I want only one thing to tell to the Koreans: don't pretend. That's all.
Hold on, I live in Oakdog, and there's only pretenders. Oh,
don't pretend.
Okay. Yeah. Are your parents like that?
Oh, actually, my parents, they also divorced.
I don't mean pretenders. I mean, were they good role models? Is that where you got that thinking from? Where just, be honest, be free, don't pretend. Is that from them, or where'd you get that?
No, my parents, they are pretend. That's why I changed.
Okay, good.
My parents split when I think I was grade 9, and it was difficult for me to approach. I mean, even Canada being so open and more liberal in terms of different kinds of families, it was still difficult for me to tell my friends or talk about it openly. It was kind of shameful and embarrassing. How did you deal with that as a young man in a super conservative society?
I'm not a Christian, but in Christianity, there are sin. The sin means it's your inborn guilt. I mean, so it is not your fault. So I just follow my sin. Okay. Yeah, I maybe maybe my parents, they didn't divorce. I can be more happier, but that is also my sin, my inborn guilt. Nobody can change. And only God can change. And I'm Buddhist, so we call it the karma. That's my karma. Yeah. So I just follow my karma. So if you pretend to be perfect, you can be a stress. Yeah. But I'm not perfect, so I just accept it.
You keep too much of that stuff in, you're gonna have your what do you say? Your intestine's gonna blow over.
Yeah.
Is that my problem? I gotta start releasing myself. Recently, there's been a couple of decisions in the upper courts, I believe, in Korea regarding the non-traditional family unit, and it's gaining more acceptance. One of you followed that? I think the latest one was that the newest law will change to, because lots of the laws are still archaic. It's the father's name, the father, everything. Right. Yeah, like when we're multicultural marriages, they want to say, well, the father has to be on the family certificate, but the father's Nathaniel Tiberio Mendigo. Oh, what are we gonna do? And it makes big problems. Like even registering my kids for school, and they're like, "What the hell's this? This isn't Kim Chair Park. It doesn't work." But the latest one that I read was about widowed families, divorced families, and adoptions that were going to be included for, like, another one was these stimulus checks from Corona. You're not a multicultural family. You're not a this, or you're not Korean, but the kids are Korean, and we got divorced, and now I don't. Anyway, so it made lots of problems. Anyways, the one that I read was the newest law will include adoptive kids or adoption families widowed families and divorced families as the new acceptance?
I feel the same things is right now because it's actually so I'm trying to change my two kid the family name to Rhee because I'm a Rhee, but very very hard because in the two biological parents they accept legally, but if the one of the they reject, I can't. So I feel the very hard time. Also, many people will they experience same things. It's very hard. So, but
They experience what? Sorry.
it's the
Same
same things.
okay.
It's very hard. It's so maybe I believe this maybe in future will be changed. And also I saw the one newspaper articles is that the government and the legal system they regard about the one family the definition also. So that means is we are the progress. And this is always when I feel something wrong and why we are not the progress quickly, I always think about the water purifier. Okay, and then for example, is now technology for the purifying water, we can need only one filter, one step purifying system. Now technology, but all the water purifier they use the 5 or 10 the filter system. You know why?
No.
Because if you use one filter, it take a long time.
Oh, okay,
But if you use a 5 or 10 filter, it is very purified quickly.
Okay.
So we are just one generation as a one filter. If you try to change one step, it take a long time.
Yeah.
But if we are one filter and the next generation and next generation, we can change very quickly.
Absolutely.
Good analogy.
Yeah. What was your original purpose for getting into medicine? What made you want to?
I entered medical schools quite late than my classmate.
Okay.
Because I study in the economics in Yonsei University, and I found myself very interested in the hospital management, and also very interested in the hospital M&A. And I tried to the specialize in the hospital management, and I found there are something only doctor can know in the hospital management. So I thought I need a license as a doctor. So I tried test, and then I entered the medical school in Yonsei. And actually, I want to study in the hospital management in the state. Because in Duke they are best in the hospital management, so I need an American license. So the last year of my medical schools in Yonsei, I took the American license. I got it, and then I
From Duke?
no, just because American doctor's license.
Okay.
And then I start my internship in Chicago University. That is my story.
That's all. So not
It's a very unusual way, right?
Yeah, very unusual.
Yeah.
What was or what is, especially with your experience in the States, if you can compare or contrast a little bit, what is med school like in Korea? I mean, education in general is very competitive. What was it like for you going through med school?
Because I think we view med school from back home as probably one of the most strenuous and difficult pursuits educationally.
Sure.
In here, I mean, med school at home could be compared to like a middle school education in Korea. So what's med school like here?
Med school here.
I didn't sleep from 1997 to 2001.
Oh, she said they are very tricky in my memories.
Yeah.
Because all the examination is the next day of the holiday.
Really?
Yes, this is I couldn't enjoy the holidays. This is, when I was the third year, the biggest examination, it always they had an examination on Boxing Day.
Oh, God.
So no Christmas holiday.
Yeah, just stress and anxiety. Got a test tomorrow. Eh?
Yeah, and
When Santa bring you a panic attack.
yes, it's my 5th years in my memories is we had 28 examination for 45 days.
Wow.
Yep.
Jesus.
So 1 day examinations.
Those aren't the Danoshiyam either.
Yeah, sleep in 5 hours and then wake up and study whole night, and then took the examination.
Do you get into? I mean, if I don't sleep 7 or 8 hours in the night, I feel the next day not totally wasted, but I'm not running at max efficiency. How do you, and I guess Korean people in general, continue? How do you sustain 5 hours of sleep per night? Like, do you feel it mentally weigh on you, or is it something that you adapt to and then you're functioning as a regular person?
Yeah.
Or does caffeine just override everything?
Naturally, you adapt it.
Really?
If you're not adapted, you kicked out. And always the
natural selection.
Yes, always trust in the caffeine. This coffee.
Of course, yeah.
Quite a strong coffee.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I don't like an Americano. It's too weak.
Oh, sorry, dude.
It's okay.
Listen, I went and got these coffees, dude. That's 70% water, and then she poured it on top. Like, can you just reduce that water and give me like an espresso or something? But anyways.
Yeah. So did you guys had a coffee in the Philippines?
I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
I take nicotine gum.
By the way,
I'm joking.
In the
By the way, our
coffee
sponsor,
coffee in Philippines is just the same size of Americano and the same strongs of the what is that? Espresso. So quite nice for the medical school student.
Oh no, yeah. The
I get for these days, and you got to be on Zoom. Zooming in from Boracay.
Man, nothing beats an espresso. Do you like the bitter
No.
taste of no?
I got quite a strong taste, and when I was in a medical school student, is when I have a big examination, I just need what is bacchus?
I was gonna
say.
Yeah, and cigarette.
And cigarettes.
Yeah.
I put bacchus outside my classroom at the university for my students so they can wake up before they come in.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, they just get zombies all the time.
Yeah. Bacchus and cigarettes. When I was in university, the breakfast at Champions was a De Maurier light and a Tim Hortons coffee. That was
right.
Oh, nothing beats that. And we always say that. If smoking wasn't so harmful to my health, I would love to have more nicotine in my blood, but the addiction properties are just not.
The only time I was ever into anything that had to be associated with keeping me up was
cocaine.
Trying to drive home from a girlfriend's house late at night, and I had a girlfriend for a while in uni, and I think like 3 a.m. you're trying to drive home doing the bob, and then whatever the students, some are coffee, some are whatever, and then some had these roosters. I don't know if you remember what roosters were.
No.
But they were just like Effergen, is that what it is?
Yeah.
And just pop a few of those and then drive home like a champion.
And your heart's just racing. Just sweating.
But at least you got home.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was bobbing away and I went off the side of the highway and down into the ditch, and I opened my eyes and I was like, holy shit. And there was like 7 or 8 foot bulrushes. Ooh. And I was just mowing them down. I was like, where am I? The African jungle, where am I? And then finally it came up to the ramp to get back on the highway, but it could have been like a culvert. I could have just killed myself. Anyways, I got to the side of the road and I stopped for like an hour and just had to try and breathe.
Almost died.
Yeah.
Don't tell mom.
But I was never into coffee or anything else, but I just remember my brothers, but that was it. It was use all your time. We'd party till 3 a.m. We'd go home, get up at 6 a.m, go cut golf greens, work all day, 2-3 jobs, party all night. And the worst danger was that falling asleep at the wheel. And it's very common now in our countries. And they try and fight it with lots of public service announcements now.
When you're in the deepest, darkest places of your internship or your studying, did you lean on any mentors? Did you have any mentors that helped you through, that kind of guided you through your time there?
Actually, it's just, when I was young, so I thought I'm the self-made person because I was stupid.
Yeah.
But actually, today's I found my mentor is my dad.
Okay.
He always say, do well and right, or do not.
We've interviewed guys from Nepal, and they attribute any success that they get to their parents.
Yeah, right.
Right. And from Western perspective, we like to say like, I did it all myself. Again, self-made man.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Did we talk about this last time?
But I was just going to say, we've had many guests that come on, and it's kind of like, not an awakening, but I've never thought about myself. I've never thought my story would be interesting. I've never thought that I had role models. And now when you're a little bit older and you get to reflect, that comes up and you think, you know what? These 2 or 3 people really did help shape my life. But people just don't stop to reflect.
Yeah, right.
And it's a really good habit, but almost every guest we have on here goes, I never thought about all these things before. I'm glad you guys had me on because it really let me reflect on my life and think about my story. And
so, how much attribution to your success do you give to your parents and yourself?
I
mean, Dad clearly was like you mentioned, he was a role model. Were they super supportive through school, or was it?
Actually, since my parents, they are very, very negative about my studying in a medical school because I used to be.
They're not traditional Korean parents. All the Korean parents are like,
because
Jimmy, what do you want to be? I want to be an artist. Did you say doctor?
Yeah, because
ARTDOC.
I totally understand that because in the couple of semester later, since I graduated in the business schools in Yonsei, and then I get a job. So. But suddenly, so one day, there's kid came home and dad and mom says, I want to be a doctor. I want to go to medical school. So I totally understand what they felt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are frustrated.
But it's not like you came home and said, hey, mom, dad, I want to be a taxi driver now.
Oh, right.
I mean, you're coming home saying, I want to be a doctor. It looks like you're going to level up, not, I want to be a YouTuber. Right? And I'm not taking anything away, but you're picking something more challenging, not the easier way out.
Yeah, right.
So,
and when I was medical school students, I should make my money for the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means my school record is not good.
Hey, welcome to the club.
How do most students pay their way through medical school in Korea? Is most of it scholarships? Dad works for Samsung. How do most kids get through medical school?
Now I'm professor in the Yonsei Medical School, and when I remembered my times, and now the medical schools totally changed. And when I was medical school students, maybe among my classmates is 15 or 20% is a female student. Now is more than 65% is female student.
Wow.
So it totally changed.
No doubt.
And when I was students, is half of students they from low class family, and they have to survive and they have to study hard, and they have to try too hard to get a scholarships or do some part time job to pay the school bill.
In terms of karma, do you think coming from a lower class family gives you that incentive to work harder? Maybe in the in the full circle of things, you have that extra motivation. You don't want to lose it, right?
Yeah, but 2 years ago, so when I have a class with the medical school students, I asked the students, please raise your hands. One or both of your parents is doctor, and maybe 60 or 70% of the students they raise their hands. That means. Their school is paid by parents, and also when I saw how many students they are paid by parents, I believe Korean society is Korean society a little bit disappointing for me because we lose ladder. I totally remember when I was last year of the high school, there was one test. The question asked me, what is entrance examination means in history? The answer was, entrance examinations means is a legal system to go to the upper class. You understand? In history. But now is entrance examination is kind of the money game.
Absolutely. From what I know, to gain entrance, I don't think sunung is the only way into medical school. You can, a lot of schools actually rely on the donations of people who want to kind of pay for their kids to get in.
So
that's not any different than home.
Absolutely not. I think a lot of the budgets for schools rely on that.
A lot of the Ivy League.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're funded by the alumni, and that's where all their kids go.
The education system should be very fair, and they should not be banding machines. It's a banding machine means is if you put a 500 won, you can get a 500 coffee. If you put a 1,000 won, you can have a 1,000 coffee. That's unfair.
Totally agree.
It's not especially in Korea. It's all over the world.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, I do like to shit on the Korean education system, though. It's not that's another conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have you back in for that one.
You are a general practitioner by trade or by way of education? Is that what you studied to be a general practitioner?
Oh, so I after I finished my internship in the University of Chicago, and I needed time to break. To relax. And I got a proposal from one global medical networks, and they want to get a general practitioners in Vietnam. And because at the time, since Vietnam, there's Korean population is bigger and bigger, and they need a doctor who can speak in English and fluently in Korean. So one of my friend proposed me to, how about you apply for a 3 months vacation in Vietnam? Ooh. I said, wow. And because at the time they paid the airfares and housing and tax, and then they pay quite a good salary the spending in Vietnam. So I applied and I got a job in at the times I thought I'm just enjoyed the 3 months in Vietnam. So I'm back to my specialist training in state. And this for the next 3 months is my Korean patients numbers is increase because at the time there's no Korean doctor in Vietnam who can speak in Korean and talk in English. And then the boss of the international clinic in Ho Chi Minh City, the Saigons, he proposed, how about you another contract for 3 months? I was so stupid. I said, okay. And then I spent 6 months in Vietnam, and I'm totally crushing in Vietnam. And then my partner, he is Australian doctor. He's also GP. We decided to open the clinic in Ho Chi Minh City. Yep. And now I have 2 clinics in the Ho Chi Minh City and 1 clinic in Da Nang in Vietnam. And my last clinic is Yangon in Myanmar.
When did you open the Da Nang?
Da Nang.
Yeah, when did you open that? Because I know within the past 10 years anyways, every student has suddenly been going to Da Nang.
Yes, Da Nang. Now Da Nang is become a very popular city.
The new Cebu.
For Koreans. But I opened my Da Nang clinics is around 13 years ago.
Wow.
Because because Da Nang is the very, very the symbolized city for the Vietnam for the honeymoon.
Very nice.
That's why they have the first city have a big resort in Da Nang. Yeah, now it's totally changed. I hate it.
Yeah, now it's crazy now. So you opened up a clinic there, which led to a bunch more. But did you ever go back to the States?
No. It's if you start to make money, you can't back to the study.
Yeah, especially if you see the potential.
Yeah,
which sounds like there was a lot of there. And what about gastroenterology? How or when did you get into that?
No. I'm not a gastroenterologist.
That's
my wife. My wife. We are the classmate. She is younger than I. She is a typical Korean doctor. So finish intern in the Severance and do the internal medicine in Severance and the fellowship for the gastroenterologist. And I love my wife as a woman, and I respect my wife as a doctor.
I think there's a butt coming.
No.
I was waiting for a butt.
I'm always saying I respect my wife as a doctor.
Yeah, awesome. She followed the rutted path of
yes. If you want to find a real good gastroenterologist in Ulsan, please ask my wife's mobile number.
This is gastroenterology's digestive system.
Yeah, right.
Am I right?
It's the note that every one of my students comes in with every other week. Professor, gastroenteritis. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, stomachache? Come on, you don't miss class for a stomachache. But Korea has a horrible record for digestive. Like everybody seems to drink yogurt for digestion. Drink this, eat that. I never heard of these problems before.
But I like when people give me advice about, oh, you need to eat this or eat that. I'm like, you have beapa every other day. I'm fine. I don't know.
Yeah, because in the for example, stomach cancer is one of the high.
What is that linked to? Is that like
red? It's linked to red.
Yeah,
red juice,
spicy
red sauce, red everything.
Really
spicy.
I wasn't sure if spicy can actually have an effect, or if it's the soju that's rotten the stomach.
And salty.
Oh shit! Okay.
Korean food's not salty. Canadian food is salty.
And
Sawi, there's too much salt in your food.
Oh,
장모님, your food is like drinking a bowl of salt.
yeah, right. And
What do you mean?
salty, spicy, and smoke and drink.
Okay.
And if you have any generic history, you should check.
So my wife always tells me not to drink the gungmur, but it's the best part.
All right.
Oh, yabo, Koreans don't finish the gungmur. I'm like,
But honey, my
That's the
spam has been boiling
that's
in here
the
for
best part. So I always pick up that bowl, and she's like, "You're crazy. You're gonna have stomach cancer." Will I?
It's just, but the taste is never changed. It's just, I spent 15 days in the hospital, and among the 15 days, I totally without any food 2 weeks, 14 days, and then I discharged from the hospital. When I back to home, I asked my wife, "Honey, I want to eat jjampong."
No doubt.
Test never change.
That's interesting.
Would that? I love the red sauces. I love the samjang. I love the doenjang. I love all that. Is that going to contribute to stomach cancer?
I think this maybe all the cancer is originate from 35% is from family history.
Okay.
Oh really?
So if you have any family history about stomach cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer, you have to check. And the other 65% is from your lifestyle.
I think I might have gastroenterology totally figured out. Constipation wise, anyways, a little scoop of samjang, and then you just hit that button. You hit that timer, and you count down for 8 hours. So you're gonna pay
Do Koreans
the toilet later.
Do Koreans have the same thing? It was on one of the expat fathers sites online last week, and one guy said, "Guys, I'm just wondering, does anybody else have to always be close to a toilet after eating Korean barbecue or one of the spicy soups because it just?" And I say, like,
it's a full cleanser. Yeah.
I get so many Koreans that say, "Oh, I can't poop. Go for some bulldog or something." And like, there's no problem.
It comes out like the SRT.
There's no problem. There's no problem with shitting in Korea ever. I can't believe if someone has a problem. I don't believe it.
Oh,
anything red, gone.
But we laughed the first 4 years here as your gut biome is changing. We were serving up soft serve ice cream for years.
Yeah,
20 years. Do Koreans have the same issues?
Oh, it's just Koreans. They believe just they have so many problems in their digestive system, and also
I hear lots of beapas here.
Yeah, right.
Is that a mental? Is that more of a mental thing, or is there something?
Possible.
My stomach hurts.
That means like I'm stressed or something. Like moriapa is not I have a headache. Moriapa is kichana or himdara or
too many
I'm
dishes.
tired or yeah.
Okay, this is and also this Korea is very very good system. This is regularly you can get to the endoscopic test every two years.
Yeah, I scare the nurses when I go.
Yep, and if you are more than 40 years old, you can do the legally. Can do the.
Are they illegal? I did one at 25.
No. I mean, legally you can have a right. Have the colonoscopy every 4 years.
Yeah. Oh no way. Yeah, cool. I did one at 25.
I love it. I love that part here.
Yeah.
You're at home.
Which part?
But I mean, at home, it's kind of like you're tough. You don't have to go because I'm too young for that. It doesn't happen yet. But here, it's kind of like with lots of companies and stuff having the free medical checks every year and promote. I think that's great.
But early detection is the best.
Sure,
the best thing.
But me saying I'm going at 40 and I think I went at 37 or 38, and my buddies at home are like, "You don't got to do that till you're 50." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, the tough guys don't do it till they're 50." But here they promote being active and not passive, not waiting for something to hurt or pinch or whatever. Go and get checked and do it regularly. You have no problems.
Okay.
So I really like that mentality here.
I have questions. For example, now all the babies in Korea, they can get to the almost free vaccination. Almost free. Only 1 or 2 vaccine is they have to pay, but most of vaccine is free. And
but even the ones that you pay for the ones that are required to pay, if you go to the government hospital, it's $10 or $20.
Yeah, right. And also, if you have numbers, you can do the every second years. You can have a endoscopic test, and every 4 years colonoscopy test, and every 2 years you can get the free blood test. Can you tell me why?
Why in Korea?
Because I think early detection would probably save money in the long run.
Yes. And the vaccination and the early detection is save the money, is more cheaper than pay for the treatment. So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's free. That stuff's all free at home. But you need referrals. You have to go to 6 different guys and, go to here, the clinic. You give me a referral. I go to the university hospital. He says, come back in 2 weeks. Then that guy says, okay, well, the machine, come back in 1 month. So it's just too kichana, and everyone just says, I'll just wait until I need to go. I'll wait till my tooth hurts instead of going to prevent the cavity. I'll wait until my tooth hurts, then I'll go to the dentist and get the work done.
I think that's a general approach to medicine in the whole world. No, there's not much preemptive.
The proactiveness here is fantastic in terms of that. And I remember when I was at UNIST, they would bring the bus there. They bring the Ulsan Daebyeongwon bus there, and they would do all your basic 40-point check or whatever it is. If you don't want to go there, they say, doesn't matter, it's in the parking lot, go outside. They'll check you on the spot, man. And they do the basic, and then if you need something else, or you need endoscopy or colonoscopy or something, okay, come to the hospital next week, we'll do it for you. Yeah, I like it.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
Do you know the difference between the endoscopy camera and what's
colonoscopy?
The colonoscopy. Do you know the difference between the cameras?
Oh yeah, it's really different.
The taste.
Uh-oh.
I didn't. Moving on from that. How did you end up in Ulsan? You're from Seoul, right?
Yeah,
How did you end up in Ulsan?
Oh.
Did you lose the lottery or?
That's a long story. Actually, before I opened my clinic in Korea, I opened my clinic in Vietnam, and then the God helped me. I start make money.
I think you owe this guy a couple favors. He saved your stomach. You got your,
And the one day, one Korean doctor visited me in the Ho Chi Minh City, and he wanted to open the clinic in Vietnam. And he asked to borrow the money from our company, and we did. And exactly the day that he promised to come to the Vietnam, he didn't come. So I came to the Korea to catch him. To get my money back. And I found he has 10 clinics in Korea.
Wow.
oh, goodness.
And most of all in Busan and in Gyeongnam and Ulsan. And
He just inherited it.
and then he said,
those?
Dr. Rhee says, I have no cash for pay for you. And then he told me, so how about you get one of my clinic? And I tried to check where is his clinic. And I found one clinic in Ulsan. And Ulsan, there is no medical schools. Actually, it's Ulsan University Medical School. They study in Seoul.
Right.
So the all other area, the Busan is other Gyeongnam area. They have a medical school. So they have some because I graduated from Seoul. So I don't want to compete. So I decided to in Ulsan.
Oh, very nice.
And my actual.
So you inherited this from a debt?
Yes.
The Home Plus Clinic?
Yes.
That's the best story I've ever heard.
And actually, my initial idea was I work hard for the 6 months, and then I sell the clinic with a little more profit, and I back to my Vietnam. Yeah, this is like a Vietnam Saigon. When I start the work, I love the patient in here, and also at the times my parents they asked me, June, how about you are Korean, so how about you have the Korean foundation? So I start working in Ulsan, and I almost worked for 18 years in Ulsan, And can you guess when did I buy my apartment?
Right after it spiked last year.
Yeah, it's 3 years ago.
3 years. Oh, really?
Yeah, that means it's 15 years I just rent the house. That means I'm ready always long way from the Ulsan.
Yeah.
But 3 years ago, I accept my life in Ulsan.
Nice.
That's why I bought an apartment.
Nice.
If you didn't inherit the clinic in Ulsan, how difficult would it be to start your own clinic here?
Most of us just to change my name on the paper for the government. But this is a clinic and a hospital is not a name problem. It's just if you have a reputation from a patient, its clinic is yours. If you are salary doctors, if you got the reputation from patients, the clinic is yours.
Is the usual pathway starting at a big hospital? You gather you kind of build your career or your name, and then you open your own.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. I was lucky enough to know a guy early in his career, and he worked at a big hospital, and then it was small clinic. Caught up with him a few years ago. He goes, "Look at this!" But he's got a 5-floor building with his whole.
Dad just told me he's got lots of medical issues now, but they live in the outskirts of Winnipeg there, and he said now that's what the best guys do. They finish in the city, they take all their experience and all their knowledge, and they move out somewhere quiet in the countryside. They open their own place with their own nurses, how they want to run their business, and it's like a very well-oiled machine. There's no paper BS. There's no fooling around. It's just doom, 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 doom. They put through 20 times as many people in half the time, and he can run it as friendly as he wants, develop relationships with the patients, and he's never hurting because he's got that reputation.
Yeah, right. And also, when I opened my clinic in Korea and Vietnam and Myanmar, I always have my teams, not in Korea, but the Vietnam and Myanmar. So we have teams, 3 guys. Before I try to decide to open the clinics, I send them to the candidate city. And then I just ask them, just enjoy your life in the city, this 3 months, and then please give me a report after 3 months later. And then they just enjoy the whole life in the cities and the drinks and the enjoys and go and living in the.
How's the city? That's good.
Yeah, right. And then they give me a report what kind of doctor we need in the city. So that's all my things is. At first, we have to do a globalization, and second, we have to do localization. If I try to open my clinic in Seoul, I totally change the clinic from Ulsan.
It would be different.
Yeah, sure. It should be. It should be.
Yeah.
Ulsan's a countryside, right?
Ulsan is for me. Ulsan is a big city and a small village.
Inherited the clinic and then finally gave in after 15 years and bought a house.
That's funny. You've had an interesting role as well as the ET Land team doctor. Can you speak a little bit about your experience there?
Okay,
just for the listeners that don't know, ET Land's a basketball team in the Korean basketball league.
Yep, and I used to be the team doctor for the ET Land for the 16 years, and because I'm still the family doctors for the owner of ET Rand and also his family and his brothers and the big groups. That's why I start my team doctor. At first, actually, we had one American player. He was so notorious player for his Korean basketball history. And at first, he didn't trust any Korean doctor. So the owner of the teams and asked me, June, you have American license. I said, yeah. How about you can handle this player? So that's why my starting as a team doctor.
Oh, cool.
So what was your role there? Like, do you treat patients once a week? You go to Busan, or how were you living in Ulsan? Were you commuting back and forth?
Okay. So,
how does it work?
ET ran the basketball players is no more exist. And this year they finished, and then they sold the team to the Korean Gas Corporate last month. And their base is Incheon.
Okay.
And the new teams they will move to the Daegu. And we have every team they have 3 very, very skillful, specialized trainer. Every morning they report me. And then I will decide this player need treat or not.
This is just the injury, like
Yeah.
injuries, or is that Beapa too? Like they report any?
Yeah, everything is
really?
And then
But even the therapy and everything goes through you?
no, so I just ordered what therapy they player need, and my trainers they do exactly what I'm order.
Okay.
And if they need some orthopedic or if you need their neurosurgeons specialist treatment, I'll send them refer to.
Right.
Yep, and as my experience as a team doctors is all the sudden injury you can't avoid. But if you before the seasons, if you exercise more harder and stronger, you can injury less. So I always said we call it rehabilitation. I always say prehabilitation.
But there must be like a strength and conditioning coach or something that takes care of all that, no?
Sure.
What were some of the wildest, craziest, funniest things that you've seen as a team doctor?
Is
Wild,
there any
crazy,
outstanding
anything?
memories as a team doctor?
16 years, there must be a couple funny memories. Or?
Yeah, sure. It's the professional player, they had a contract, right? And then after they got a big jackpot, after contract, next year they never play. They always say, "I'm sick. Hey, Dr. June, I'm sick in my knee, my ankle."
Is this American players or is this
No, it's
Korean?
all Korean players
Really?
Why would they do that?
Yeah.
because they got a jackpot.
Yeah.
How much is this jackpot?
It's just always they have the free agents contract. They made a jackpot.
Yeah, but are we talking like Samok, Owok,
Maybe.
Shibawok?
Yeah, it depends
What are we
on.
talking about?
It's maybe the Samok or Owok.
So,
God, that wouldn't. The way Koreans spend money, that wouldn't last a year and a half, man.
And
Jeez.
exactly before the year of the free agents contract, they play harder and harder.
Sure.
Because they have to be a
Contract
more
year, right?
yeah. And sometimes I said, "Oh, you can't play." They said, "No. Yes, I can. So as a team
Remember
doctor,
this next year.
yeah, the team as a team doctor, you need the ability to recognize this fake one or real one.
poker. You gotta
Yeah,
check
right.
your poker skills.
But one of my best friends is the head therapist for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the National Hockey League.
One of the best teams to ever grace the ice.
Those guys have sensors now. So if you say you're good, they pull up the data and they say your left foot's not pushing hard enough. You're only pushing 76%. You can't go back until it's 85%. Or you say you're okay, but it says this. Or you say you're not okay, but it shows you're good. So too bad. Go play. Is it like that, or is it
Yeah,
more
sure.
just on your discretion?
Yeah, sure. Yes, and we have sense and exactly when I have the player's injury, I reviewed all the video before the injury because it's if you have experience, you can tell before the injury his movement or actions a little bit different as normal. Okay, always injury happen what he had a week.
Of course.
So I've never seen the video for the injury moment. I always see the before the injury. I see and check and what is different. And also when we have we selected the American players team, they show me the video for the players, and I'm trying to find what the player tried to hide.
Oh, you're like a CSI.
I always compare with his medical history, medical record, and then I always compare his play. And if you had for example, if you had the player, he had a left side knee injury operation history, he tried to do more strength for the right side, and when he learned or jump, and his action is a little bit different, and he trying to do hide, and he always try to hide. I'm okay, so you have to select me, pay me the money, show me the money. So I have to
inform. You got the professional
when they're choosing which foreign players they should sign.
Yes.
Because there's a handful of them, and they're all fighting for the same spots, right?
Wow, you got the keen eye.
Yeah.
So is that mostly a consultation position from abroad? Like you can stay in Ulsan and just consult via teleconference or whatever.
Yes.
And once in a while you would go to actually see a player, or
Yeah, every 2 weeks I go to my teams and talk with the players and talk with the head coach, and we talk about some medical issue, and also I try to educate the player for any illegal medicine for the
They test here?
doping test.
There's basketball players doping here? Or I mean the...
Yeah. We do the doping test systems for the professional players.
What kind of, like steroid use or...
Steroid is some hormones, and
Really?
suddenly the organization, they come to the game and then they randomly select the player and they get the urine sample and they test.
Standard for pro sports. I'm just surprised it happens in Korea as well.
But some doctors in Korea who had no experience for the players, simple medicine for the common cold and runny nose.
Oh, that can
They
make
can-
them piss hot?
yeah.
Or,
So
Just like the Olympics, everywhere. That can trigger
I want to ask some doctors, please check your patient is player or not.
What will you miss the most? You were there for a long time.
Oh, it's because in the players, they are actually they are perfect. The guinea pig for me.
guinea pig.
Yes, it's because they are very, very sensitive. There's a feel after treatment or after medicine.
Yeah.
So they can report me immediately.
Okay.
So I can try some medicine for my regular patients. I can try before my regular patient player, and I can ask if there's feedback.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll be a guinea pig.
Sure.
I got.
And also, this year also I will continue my team doctor or Korean Gas Corporate in Daegu.
Oh, cool. So you're gonna continue.
Yeah,
with your
because it's
position.
a whole teams is moved to the Daegu,
Oh, okay,
and the
okay.
same head coach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And again, it's done remotely. So
And
it's not,
and maybe I can invite some of yours in Daegu games and in this fall and winter.
Sweet.
Yep.
Awesome.
We'd love to come. You mentioned you're a professor at Yonsei. You talked a little about how the education is different, or the student population is different now. What do you think in terms of technology in the learning and in medicine or the medical industry? It changes so fast.
Yeah, right.
And from when you were a student to when you started as a professor to now and going forward, the role that tech will play in the industry and maybe in eliminating some jobs. Lots of hospitals have robots now. Maybe just talk a little bit about tech and how it's changed and the role it'll have.
Yeah, first of all, is when I was students, we need a big bag like a tennis bag for carrying all the books and all the files. But now it's all the students, they just carry the iPad. And when I was students, it's all the textbooks and the handouts is printed on the paper, but they just bring the iPad.
Nice. Paperless learning.
Yeah, paperless learning.
Yeah.
And
Are you, Nate? Are you asking specifically in terms of technology used in the office for patients, or
both for
yeah.
students and like how are they learning now? So they're learning iPads, but lots of the testing devices that were used 20 years ago aren't used anymore. You can get your blood pressure from wearing your watch, and your smart, all these things. So
yes,
when patients come in now, or when these guys become doctors, is it show me your smartwatch? Okay, here's all the guy's history from the last 2 months. Okay.
Yeah, very simple. Is even for example, so when I was students, is anatomic class is what a hard time because we have to do something by our hands for the cadaver. But now it's most of sometimes we do the cadaver wrap study, but usually they use the virtual system.
The virtual system.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you, I did cadavers in anatomy when I was in university. And there's some pretty gross stuff. And I don't mean muscles and tendons. I mean other stuff. There's some pretty gross stuff that you just don't...
Like what? What's this? Like livers? And
Grandpa's pubes and
gross. They don't shave them?
Dude, what is that the number one priority when someone dies? I don't know. Like,
before you send it, there's got to be.
We used to go pull them out of the freezer. We were like, "Whose grandpa are we getting today?"
There's no middle step. He's dead, and then in the office, there's no like.
I'm just telling you.
Hose him down and shave him.
Anyways,
I don't know.
There's lots of, and that's what I said. The muscles and tendons is what you see in the textbook, and that's normal. But if there's any other parts and some of the teeth and stuff, you're like. So, yeah, I think virtual or
Yeah, also, and I didn't have experience in the training course in Korean university hospitals, but usually all the intern and resident, they had very hard times. For example, for my wife, when she was resident training in the university hospitals, sometimes she couldn't sleep more than 60 hours. I mean, not 60 hours without sleeping work.
Isn't that dangerous? I mean, for the doctor's health and for the decisions that you're making after being up.
Yeah,
for 60
it's
hours.
quite dangerous. And so now it's just the labor law is changed.
58 hours.
Yes. So all the residents is very happily go back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know what. In some cases, maybe you should do some like army training or whatever. When you should push that envelope at certain points just to get the experience or whatnot. But I mean, to continually.
But not
do
my
that
first
in
year
work
students last week during final exams.
Yeah.
Oh, Professor, I'm so sorry. But I studied till 5 in the morning.
And you missed your exam.
Oh!
You got 0. You studied so hard, you got 0. I tell my students, because it happens every semester, so I have in my PowerPoint for my presentation for showing them the outline, I say, listen, the most important thing is to go to bed early the day before the exam, wake up and eat breakfast, so that you're ready to take an exam the next morning. Because every semester, each class has 1 or 2 kids.
Kimchi energy
go,
power show.
Oh, Professor. And like, what do you want me to say? I'm telling you ahead of time.
All right.
And then they must feel really bad the next day when they come and they're like, oh, Professor. I go, I told you this
I'm a mind
happens.
reader.
I said, don't let it be you. But it happens every semester.
For teachers, and if you want to stay up to date and have exciting classes, I think professional development, whether it's self-development or you're actively taking classes, is a very important part of the job. Tagging on to Nate's question about technology, is this something that doctors have to do as well? Is professional development a lot of? Is it a difficult thing to keep up with? Is it mandatory? Is it?
Yeah, it's mandatory, and as I told before, just doctors can see what they know,
Yep.
and then they have to upgrade, and always other people ask me about a job as a doctor. I just explain the job of doctor is kind of technician. Technician's duty is skills up, practice more, but I hate that most of people they regard the doctor is money making jobs, but I believe doctor is technicians. So skills up, upgrade.
Well,
So-
I imagine changing from cadavers to
Real human
virtual
body.
reality.
Yeah,
I mean, that would, for a 50-year-old doctor or professor, I mean, that would be like fully re-educating yourself. How to do this. I mean, not knowing the parts, but just using the whole system and everything would be very challenging. So, yeah, I think keeping up with, we have both worked at Chune Bogonde, and we always emphasize, like, guys, the stuff you're learning now is going to be obsolete when you graduate. 4 years later, this stuff's not going to exist.
yeah,
There will be new ways to measure these different basic vitals. There'll be new, the censored floors for when a
Right.
patient falls down, the floor will send off an alarm. And it's hard for them to imagine what that might be like. So we both used to teach, and we said, imagine what the room of the future would be like, because it will seem like outer space. It'll be so interconnected, and it won't be like a nurse coming to, okay, let me check. It'll be so much more efficient.
yeah. Right. This is also. I have the work for the CME Center for the Yonsei Medical University. The CME means Continuous Medical Education. So we try to upgrade the older generation doctor. Yeah.
They need to do that with some of the professors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of professors that need that upgrade. If we could just plug them in and get that system upgrade, it'd be great. Even when I was at UNIST, the top-down Korean style listen to me for 2 or 3 hours was mind-boggling to think that that was going to be one of the top schools in the country, and that they haven't figured out that there's a different approach now,
Right.
and that it's 2020, and it's not just listen to Buddy talk for 3 hours, and you can't tell when everyone's sleeping that it's not effective. But there's a lot of professors in this country that could use the chip upgrade also.
Right.
In your clinic, do you put an emphasis on keeping up with current technology and stuff like that? Like, how, I mean, it must be expensive. How do you keep up with the latest hardware in medicine?
You mean the hardware?
Latest tech tools.
Yes, I never invest money for stupid things like promotion, advertisement. Is sorry, other doctors, is advertisement on taxi or advertisement on a bus. That's a ridiculous and stupid investment.
It seems desperate.
Yes, but I always put money for the machines and education of my staffs.
Awesome.
That's why that's all of my clinics in all of the world is same. We open 7 days a week, and my clinic in Vietnam and Myanmar is open 24 hours.
Oh wow.
Okay, because it's a hospital and a clinic should be a hospital and clinic, and I don't want to be the shopping center. I don't want to be the boutique. That's why I never advertisement. That's why my company has no website.
That's interesting. We were looking for websites.
I know. Yeah.
I was like, come on, man. CME, Yunsei, all like, where's the references online?
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you to those 24-hour, 7-day a week clinics in Vietnam. Shout out to Petey the White Snake. He dislocated his shoulder one night. And we I also have chronic subluxation on my shoulder, and he had it, but we were in somewhere in Vietnam, I think, and he dislocated it, and we had to ride on the back of a motorcycle, which you can imagine the pain of the dislocated shoulder. And it was like 11 or 12 at night, and we went and open, clean, and I was like, what? This is like an American clinic in the middle of wherever we were in Vietnam, and I was like, man, this is wild. And they're just ready to take you in anytime. So, yeah, come pick him up at 3 a.m. We got to reset his shoulder and give him some meds and let him rest, and then come pick him up. But just riding in there, that motorcycle, he's going like this the whole time. Oh, no. But, yeah, I mean, that's what we needed, and I can't imagine if he had to, like in Korea, they say, is it really an emergency? Come back in the morning when the doctor comes in. Huh? No, I don't. I need it now. Like, why are so many that hospitals don't have doctors at night? Why is that?
Oh,
they don't want to work at night.
You have them on in Vietnam. Why don't they have them on here in Korea?
Okay. This actually this is kind of the money issue. Okay.
To employ full-time staff is probably
quite a big budget, and also most of Korean I believe they have to change what it means medical service. Most of Korean people, they believe this service is free of charge, but I believe the service is depending on how much you pay. Okay, so Korean patients, they never try to pay more, but they always ask it why your medical service is bad, because they have a misunderstanding of the concept of the service. You get what
you pay for, right?
Yeah. So, for example, if you visit my Vietnam and Myanmar clinics, you have to pay more than $200 for the consultation after midnight. But in Korea,
but if you want it to be a sustainable business, this is what you have to do.
But if you ask it $200 in Korean emergency room, that's illegal.
Right.
Yes, and if you give a free of charge treatment, it's illegal.
But they just direct you to the big hospital.
Yep.
If you're really an emergency, go all the way to Donggu. Well, I don't want to go all the way there. You can't just do. I just need 5 stitches. 8. Wait in the morning and go to the skin clinic. Huh? Like, I'm gonna have a scar by the morning. I got a hockey stick, ice hockey stick across the eye and nose. And we went to Ulsan-dae Byungwon on a weekend is crazy because everybody sends the patients there. It's the only place taking people after 7 p.m. So it's a wild party in there on the weekends. There's so many motorcycle accidents and drunken guys and drunk Hyundai guys. There's all kinds. And I went in there sitting on the gurney, and the guy next to me was a motorcycle pedal guy, and he ran over his foot, and his foot was just dangling there. And I was like, I'm going to pass out. I can't. And he's looking at me like Frankenstein. I got to cut like this. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. And he's like, what the hell happened to you? And I was like, I don't know, but I got to go outside. I'm gonna faint. I started spinning. I couldn't look at all these injured guys around me. But instead of having like different places open in different neighborhoods, it's just send everybody to one place or wait till tomorrow. And then it's like, should I go to Donggu? Then I gotta wait 2 hours. Just wait till the morning then.
Yeah. Most things you can't wait for the morning. I broke in this. What is it? My toe broke. My toe was pointing right. And I went to the hospital and they said, "Oh, we can do emergency surgery." I'm like, no. Can you just put it back in? Like, not till the morning. Like, I went home, had to sleep with a right ankle toe. But good times.
Tell us or discuss with us a little bit. Most foreigners here will think that medicine is overprescribed and treatments are overprescribed, and you say it depends on the money. But we're from a place that has public health care; it's free for everybody. But you have to wait. There's major minuses to that system, but there's also many positive aspects. If you have cancer, it's taken care of. In Korea, if you don't have the specific insurance, you're kind of screwed. But the overprescription of pills and drugs here, and the overdiagnosis. Like, I can self-diagnose, I think, better than half the doctors. As soon as you go in and say, I have this, they say, oh, you're going to have this surgery. Huh? What about option 1, 2, and 3? Surgery is the last option. Why is that so common here? Is it because they're all businesses? And they're trying to make money?
No, it's just when Brian gave me the topic raised for today's interview is there are some. First of all, there are some cultural difference. As that is good for me because I never order injection for my foreign patients because usually foreign patients they hate injection.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure. Needle?
Because we don't understand. No, not a needle.
Yeah.
We've never had it. So when I say I have a sore finger and you say, oh, go get an injection. No, I said I have a sore finger. I don't need an injection. Every injury we've had at home, and most foreigners grow up playing sports and riding dirt bikes and biking. Compared to Korea's Hagwon lifestyle, it's pretty wild and crazy. And we've all had injuries, but we've never had an injection for anything.
Yeah, right. And most of Korean, especially this old generation, they love to get injected.
Of course.
Yeah.
My wife too.
Yeah.
And the linger.
Yeah.
And they love this magical linger.
Listen, I don't think it's a bad thing.
But
Except the guys who are dying.
And especially...
Come on, you're comparing... you know how many people get lingers? Like 6 people died in Incheon. How many people are dead? Sounds like...
Yeah, but you know, the Chinese patient, they love IV injection.
Yeah.
So I try to... I'm just trying to satisfy the need of my patients. So I totally understand. Yeah. So I never ordered the injection for my...
What is it? I was always... When my wife... she got... one, I don't know, whatever it is, just that one shot. Is it like a vitamin booster or something?
No. Sometimes it's just maybe it can be
it's a
sometimes it can
bend
be
over for the buckets.
It's a 1934 Don the Beachcomber
no.
zombie.
It's just maybe possibility of antibiotics.
Yeah.
Or the anti-inflammatory injection.
Okay.
And sometimes can be antihistamine.
It is.
And sometimes can be the cortisone.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that one when you go in, talk to the doctor, okay, go to the room. Psst, that's not the same one every time?
Not same. It's different. Yeah.
But the hold on, I had a good point to make there. Wait a minute. Oh, I know. I think maybe even if it is the vitamin booster or if it's something an antihistamine, maybe just the mental state of patients who are expecting some sort of treatment, maybe that could be a positive benefit for them too. Like, oh, I got treatment, the stress is down, the anxiety is down, and that could have.
It's weird though. I broke my wrist, and every week I would get that IV.
It's bone, liquid bone.
What are you healing?
You got liquid bone in your office.
But I believe this IV is quite good because it's most treatment. Most things you need is hydration.
Hydration.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But in Canada, we eat an orange or take some vitamin C, drink some water. But you never get those injections.
Yeah, I know.
That could just be a new thing too.
Yeah.
But what I don't enjoy, I'll tell you this one, when you're at the Geordie one, and the lady comes up with a list, and basically she doesn't even say what level do you want. She says how much do you love your wife, and how much John Sodi do you want. That's what they should put. It should be a John Sodi level. How much is your wife gonna bitch? Depending on the option of thing that you choose, and you get like the $10 bakas, or you can do the $120. The
heal you by tomorrow, but you're not healed, and you need the $200 one.
Yeah, the 1+1.
What about the overprescription of pills? Because I think we both have experiences with both ourselves and our children. And sometimes when they give my kids all these ones, and I'll say, "What is this?" "Oh, this is for a headache." "She doesn't have a headache." "What's this for?" "Anti-inflammatory." "She doesn't have inflammation." Okay, so she just has to take this one. You gave me 5.
But but there might be some. I know they used to give me digestion pills, and I'd be like, "I don't need that," and they're like, "Yeah, but if you're eating this medicine, you need this one, so it doesn't totally."
Okay, so also, please understand, it's just
we're attacking your heart right now.
Yeah, no. Just
she's got an American license.
No, it's just listen, guys. Just it's kind of the cultural difference.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We imagine ourselves go to a restaurant. Okay, we go to the American Western restaurant. We order the one main dish.
Yeah.
Okay, we go to the Korean restaurant. There are so many side dish, right? That's a cultural difference. So if you need, for example, if you need impact, the doctors we need prescribe for the antibiotics. But if you prescribe only one antibiotic for the Korean patients, they said, "Wow, why these doctors so regret? Why he
Oh, he doesn't.
But they don't trust you as like in Canada, we think, okay, he's the doctor, he knows what he's doing, so I trust him. But in Korea, they think, "Oh, I'm not getting my value here. He's only giving me 1. I want 6."
So just think about
it's not the shijang.
Okay, so if you order the yukgaejang, for example, why they have so many kimchi and dakdugi and some the kongnamul muchims?
Is it to show the love?
Yeah. So it's a cultural difference. So
what you're telling me is those other 4 pills are just like just flour? It's like
no. So I just understand. So that's some difficulties for the Korean doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. So
always so shocking for me.
So do they teach you that in school?
No.
You give older people are gonna like a few extra pills to feel good.
No. Medical school just teach same things and the state of Canada. But it's kind of experience.
Right.
Okay.
So, always we have to try to satisfy the need of patients.
That's it. That's so interesting.
After having you here, is there any way that Brian and I could split like a 50-liter jug of that magic pink sauce that we give the kids? Can we get like the 50-liter
What's
container?
a magic pink sauce?
The pink medicine they give all the kids. Every time your kids are sick, they get the pink one.
Oh, that's for the fever.
Well, for all kinds of stuff. Every time my kids are sick, they get the pink one. And I'm like, just give me 2 liters of it, and I'll just.
Oh, you're talking about like a little bottle of antibiotics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can we just get like a 50-liter thing of it and split
just
it?
Suck on it.
And then whenever my kids feel, here, take your pink sauce. Take your.
What is it?
I no. Here's the one that bothers me, and I would love some background on this. Ear infections. Antibiotics or no antibiotics? Because my experience, he goes in, he looks, he goes, "Oh, ear infection, antibiotics." I go, "Do you really?" Of course, I'm Googling with no medical experience. Do you need antibiotics for it, or should there be a test first to check what kind of antibiotics you need, or what's the when someone comes to you with an ear infection and you look and you go, "Oh, you got some red stuff in your ear," or whatever the liquid
for you and for your kids.
Kids.
Okay. Maybe they have a middle ear infection.
Okay.
Okay. It depends on middle ear infection.
Okay.
And
Can you tell just by looking at it? You got to swab it with a Q-tip or something?
No,
I'm
so
totally skeptical of everything.
no, if you see that the
American basketball player.
if you see that the eardrums by scoff,
Yeah.
you can find they have a middle ear infection or not.
Okay.
Okay, and also it depends on doctor's decision.
Okay.
So for me, is when I decided to use the antibiotics, I use quite a strong antibiotics, and a very short time.
Yeah.
Maximum is 5 days. Okay, and when I did not using the antibiotics, I never use. But
All or nothing.
yeah, but for example, just a common cold is not the bacterial problem.
Yeah.
So they don't need antibiotics.
Totally agree.
Yep. And when I was medical school students, is my professor, he's oncologist. His medicine for the cold is miracle.
Milk?
Yep. No, I mean the miracle.
Oh, miracle.
Yeah.
The milk miracle.
It worked.
Yeah.
So even his oncologist is just, we always ask him, Professor, give me the prescription for the medicine for the cold. Okay. And when he had some drink occasion, I asked him, "Hey, sir, can you tell me what is the secret of your medical medicine?"
Oh God.
And he is a best oncologist in Korea, but he said,
Sorry, that's cancer doctor.
"Yeah,
Okay.
cancer doctor," and he said,
Chemo.
June, when you see the cold patients, please prescribe antibiotics in Korea.
Really?
Yes, when I was medical school students, I couldn't believe him because this is a very illogical things.
Yes.
It's common cold, it's viral disease, it's antibiotics not work. But he empathized. You please prescribe antibiotics in Korea for the cold. I said I asked him again.
Yeah.
In Korea and in the world, he said in Korea.
Really?
Yeah. So and I trust him because he taught me from his lessons.
Yeah.
Yep. So
From his experience,
yes,
you can impart that.
yes.
on you.
So that's why as before I told you, globalization and localization. I never prescribe antibiotics in Vietnam, in Myanmar, but sometimes I prescribe antibiotics common cold in Korea. That's a kind of unexplainable in the
Phenomenon,
textbook.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And also I will tell you the one thing is a couple of years ago, and I can smell something in Korea like a Vietnam.
You mean like food or something?
Just the smell,
Okay.
Yeah.
the street smell.
Okay.
I feel like sometimes I'm surprised. Wow, this smells what I smelled in Vietnam, and I smell in Korea. And then you know what I found?
You stepped on dog shit.
Nah. If you go to 자갈치 시장,
Yeah.
you know the tuna.
Yeah.
Tuna is not common fish in Korea. It's 10 years ago.
Only from 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very, very rare fish near the Jeju Island. So, but now if you go to the 자갈치 시장, you can find 1,000 tuna in near the Jeju
all
and
people wanna
in
eat,
Name, right?
Yeah.
You know what it means? The climate is changed.
Okay.
Okay, if you go to the gastroenteritis for the diarrhea and the cramping pain and the fevers, if you had in Vietnam, automatically Vietnamese doctor they prescribe 2 kind of antibiotics. You know, in 10 years ago, if you have a gastroenteritis patient in Korea, if you prescribe antibiotics, you crazy. But now,
Evolution of medicine.
yeah, but now when I see the gastroenteritis patient in Korea, sometimes I prescribe antibiotics, like a Vietnam. It worked.
Interesting.
Okay.
So as a climate change, disease change.
Yeah.
diet and everything, and
Yeah.
even the makeup of the fish is changing now. They're half plastic. I got 2 quick ones if we can go through them quick. The kids who get the gips. The grade 5 kid who goes to school with the gips on his foot. He's got a soft cast, not a green one, the soft one. He sprints around outside playing soccer at lunch. Why is he wearing a gips?
Makes mom feel better.
Cultural difference? You
No. It's just, first of all, not a cultural difference, but doctors want the patient not move.
So put a real gips on him.
Oh, it's
But not that long.
not long.
Yeah. So I always wonder what is the purpose and what is the effect when I see them walking and running around and stuff. Okay, the next one. I go to a guy right beside my house there. He speaks English and he's good. And the reason I go to him is because he gives me 5 to 7 days of medicine for the kids, not 3.
I understand.
Because we detest going back every 3 days just kunyang. Listen, we'll take it for 7 days, and if it's still bad, we'll come back and see you. But I don't have to come every 3 days for 2 weeks. What do you think of that? What is the reasoning?
Yeah, that is most questions I got from my parent patients. And that is one of the reasons is Dr. June is quite a little bit popular because I always prescribe the 5 days or so to 7 days, not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days.
We like seeing you. Right, I'm going to go visit you every 3 days.
I came when you were in Home Plus. I came a couple times with my girls, and you gave the 5-day one, and you adjusted. You said, okay, I understand. Yes.
Yes, it's that is one of the side effects of the Korean medical systems, because it's the doctors. Sorry, it's just doctors we paid by numbers, not quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they want to visit more and more.
You're taking money out of
I learned that the hard way with the chikwa.
Yeah.
My root canal took 15 visits, and in Canada it takes 1. Because the way the insurance works, it can't be over shiman on a day or something, otherwise it's not covered. But imagine going 15 times for a bloody root canal. Oh my goodness. It's insane. In Canada you go once and it's done. Here I feel like it's my new church. I got to go every Saturday at 8 a.m. for an hour, every Saturday for 2 months. 3 months.
I'm really sorry about it, but please understand Korean situation and Korean doctors. Okay?
I thought you were going to say it's because all the doctors are handsome and the moms just want to see you guys.
No.
They want to come every 3 days.
Yeah, please be Romans when you stay in Rome.
Yes, you're right.
I had an experience with that recently. I had a knee injury, and the doctor, he just looked at the X-ray and he said, "Oh, nothing is wrong. If it hurts, come back 15 days later." I wanted to ask him, like, tell me what's wrong, or like, what should I prevent to do, or what exercises to do?
Couple chopsticks on the side of your leg.
He's just like, okay, take these medicines. If it hurts, come back 15 days later. I got a feel that he wanted to take a lot number of patients.
Yeah, so can you imagine how my highest record of the 1 day consultation?
130.
And?
Was it?
130 every... Yeah...
I know a gynecologist, and she said she does on a
80, 90?
My highest record in Home Plus was 325 patients a day.
Jesus. And that's when you bought the new house the same night.
That's quite a long time ago. And you can't believe this, from 10 to 9 o'clock, I didn't have, even I have time for the toilet, but I saw 325 patients a day.
Oh man, lucky you didn't have Samjung the day before.
Wow, talk about quantity.
But now it's changed. Yeah. Now it's changed. Yeah.
Does it? Oh, that's gotta be 300. So that's
wild. When my friend my yeah,
checking temperatures.
Yeah.
How's that knee? You're kicking another guy.
But now it's changed. So
you got a super soaker antibiotic. Open up.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, but please, that's why this is. I love Korean medicine. I love is another country's medicine, because it's Korean medicine. They have speed, and the Western medicine, they have accuracy. So if you come to
Don't
see
have brain surgery in Korea.
yeah, if you come to the Dr. June, you can enjoy the accuracy and speed.
Wow, there we go. Is that what it says on your business card?
No, I'll
Speed
show.
and
I
accuracy by
will
Dr.
give.
June?
That's what it says on the dating app.
Okay, maybe one of the last topics here: aesthetics medicine.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you practice as a general practitioner locally, but internationally you focus more on aesthetics medicine.
Yeah.
Why is that? How'd that come about?
It's just, most of us is as I told you before, doctors we are the technicians, so we have upgrade our skills. And my interest was anti-aging medicine. Anti-aging medicine, they have two subject. One is internal anti-aging medicine. The other is exterior anti-aging medicine. So that's why I started the aesthetic. Is for the anti-aging.
So was this after? How long? When did you get interested in this, or how did it come about? After how long of a general practitioner did you start getting into aesthetics?
When I
got to Vietnam and saw the money.
Yeah, and maybe around 10 years ago, I got an interest in my aesthetic medicine. And also, it's kind of things. It's, I need upgrade my attitude, my skill for the future. For example, is I used to be the car engineers, but now I have to try to myself upgrade for the
Bodywork.
Yeah, I mean for the electric car, right?
Okay.
So I needed my more the interest, and but aesthetic medicine is quite Korea is a heaven and a good place to learn, and good place for the practice, and also
no shortage of volunteers.
Yes, and I study and practice here and learn from other doctors, learn from schools, and learn from the other hospitals. And I had more experience and practice in here. And then I tried to decided to teach some Asian doctors. So I always, before the COVID situations, every month I open my workshop in Southeast Asia.
So you'd go for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Workshop.
Yeah.
So is this like a different branch of your clinics, or is this independent and separate from the clinics? You just go anywhere in Southeast Asia, or because I saw you were in China, you're in lots of different places.
Yeah.
Is this independent from the clinics, or is this kind of in coordination with them?
It's coordinated with them. And this is my old clinic in the Vietnam and the Myanmar. We one of the part is for the aesthetic department, and and we always enjoy. And my clinic is polyclinics, okay. And most of patients for the clinic is usually the emergency. Some treatment need for the specialist is only 25-30% of the. All of the world, the patient, 25 or 30%, they need a specialist. So I want quick and easy treatment for them. The way to how can they easily to approach a specialist.
What percentage of patients need the aesthetic surgery for like an accident or an injury?
Medical reasons.
For medical reasons versus
cosmetic.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you. What's the medical versus cosmetic
In Korea?
Yeah.
Usually the surgery for the accident, the scar, we call in the rehabilitate surgery is usually done in hospitals, university hospital.
Okay.
Usually private hospital, they never do.
Oh, okay.
All the cosmetic.
I get it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that says enough. Do you want to? We got maybe a difficult one here. Something that popped up in the media quite often, and
ghost
in
doctor
is the ghost doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. How prevalent is that in the aesthetics?
It looks so scary to read those and to watch those stories, and it's it's shocking, and then they're not all the time, but there's a current case, right, where the boy died, the young man died, and his parents are suing, and nobody's.
That's a current case, the jaw surgery case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a tough question, but is that something everyone knows about that they don't talk about, or is it kind of everyone don't ask, don't tell? What's the approach to ghost doctors?
Yeah, this is
a ghost doctor.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
He's the plastic surgeon, and he comes in and does the main something or part of the main procedure, and then the assistants or the lab company guy who operates them, who gives the machines, the hardware, comes and does the rest. Or a nurse, or just someone who's not qualified to do it.
Yeah, an unqualified person stepping in for the doctor.
Basically.
Or even
they get through so many more patients. They get so many patients they can't handle them all. So he puts his name on it. I'm just using an example. And now he can do double the procedures because he has 3 other people helping him. Yeah. Where before, if he does all the procedure himself, it's a third or a quarter of the potential.
This is that question is quite sensitive and very make me awkward to answer.
You don't have to answer if you don't.
Yeah, but very, very, very small number can be maybe.
Yeah.
But as a doctor, I never accept it. And if you find any hospitals and clinics is done by ghost doctor, please report police.
Oh, of course.
That's illegal.
How would the guy feel when he's like, "Hey Nate, you got to finish the surgery today"? No thanks, I quit.
Yeah.
Just
how do those guys feel?
Very simple. It's just all the operation, all the treatment, they need a time.
Sure,
of course.
And see the numbers of the cases of doctors done on the day.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The numbers don't add up.
Yeah. You did 1,600 LASIKs today? What is that? Yeah, that's it's wild, and that's a really scary, really scary thing, man.
How is it viewed amongst the medical professionals? Are the proper doctors trying to oust the other ones, or is there a brotherhood where, hey, I know you did it, but I won't say anything?
That's something I've heard in the past. Maybe if you want to dispel the myth, but that if there is a malpractice case, that it's hard for it's like police in the States, right, where they don't want to rat on their brother or whatnot. Is that, if you want to speak to that? Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you understand that one?
Yeah, I understand.
If I get LASIK and it goes wrong. I can't, in Canada, I can just sue you for malpractice.
Yeah, right.
But they say in Korea, I have to go to Brian and say, Brian, Dr. Brian, did he do malpractice? Yes. Will you testify in court? Yes. And if he testifies against you, then I can win the case. But he'll never testify against you because you're Hyung-Nim from Yonsei.
But but I mean, that might be like a good safety as well, because I'm sure there is people out there who are looking to get some get some extra money, right? So that might be just their own kind of insurance policy, or
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah. That's quite a tough questions.
We'll talk about it to our own conclusions.
Yeah.
How friendly or how open is the doctors' community by themselves?
Okay, this is good.
If you find some new treatment, is it usual that people share it so that you can help more people, or do people keep it to themselves so that more people?
That's a good question.
Okay, that's a good question. But one of the German sociologists defined the doctor as most unsociable persons group.
Really?
Yeah.
Amongst themselves.
So doctors is we got an education from competition. So very, very is comparative persons. So
even from the beginning, you're competing against your peers just to get the position to learn.
Yes. So and also I'm very unsociable person, so I never do any contact with other doctors.
Just within your own with your own clinic and you're the doctors that you trust in.
Yeah. But I'm very strictly to keep distance from other doctors. It's because in
Corona.
no. Some doctors just call me crazy Dr. June just because he work in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But I believe is I have to do my duty as a doctor. And just before Brian, right? You told me about playing golf and whatever.
Yeah, on a Tuesday. Yeah.
But I never played a golf. I never played anything.
You're dedicated to the
Yes,
trade.
my hobby is the rooftop gardening.
Oh, nice.
Yes, every day I harvest my tomatoes and the cucumber.
Why is that? A side note: why is that not a thing in Korea? When you go hiking here, you just see like empty roof. Why are there not more rooftop gardens?
That's my
It's changing.
that's my hobby is
Beautiful.
the bakery, cooking, and
We could have another podcast.
gardening. So they can't believe it, and somebody's asked me the singing and outside the singing as a doctor. I play in golf, played a nice car, play good luxurious things, and Louis Vuittons and whatever, and Versace and whatever. But for me, I drive. My car is from Hyundai. That is not the imported car in Korea.
Yeah.
But in Vietnam, Hyundai is imported car.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed my bakery for try to my fingers more sensitive
Yeah.
because I'm over 50, so my fingers gonna be sometimes it's a bit bad and numb, but I want to keep it sensitive,
Yeah.
right?
Interesting.
For examples, older people they believe doctors wear medical gown in the clinics. If you come to my clinics, my gown is Uniqlo,
Oh, nice.
white polo shirts.
Nice.
Medical gown don't be good things. My view as doctors is medical gown should be clean. I have a 14 Uniqlo white polo shirts, and every day wash and clean, and every day I change my medical gown twice. That's a medical gown's definitions, not doctor's gown's definition.
I think possibly the medical gown here is more of a separation between I'm the doctor and you are.
Yeah, right.
It's more of a pride thing.
Yes, this is my medical gown is from I bought it this Uniqlo.
You didn't buy it between 2017 2019 during the
No Japan.
during the No Japan.
So that's my view.
Yeah.
Yes, I told you, this doctor is not a title. This doctor is just a technicians.
I think that speaks a lot to your.
Do you ever take a vacation?
Yeah. It's
Is
just
is your vacation like going and doing the workshops?
Yeah, none.
Every month,
workshop,
or-
and Jeju-do for my kids.
Right.
But that's before my small ball operations.
Yeah.
Now I'm changed. Don't
More
call me.
Yeah. Awesome.
More
Awesome.
vacations.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what about the seemingly unattainable standard of beauty in Korea? I got 2 daughters. He's got a daughter. You've got one. They grow up. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Miss Korea meme on the internet, where every girl, like the 30 Miss Korean contestants, all look the same. You're into cosmetic surgery procedures, aesthetics. What do you think about that seemingly unattainable standard of beauty?
And to tag on to that, now with we talked about it last time, the AI, the K-pop AI groups, where like they're being generated by computers, man. You can't when young girls are looking at that, it's you will always be second to them.
Okay,
Right?
so when I was a high school student, is all the trendy song is from Japan, and all the trendy movie is from Hong Kong. So all the beauty standard is from Japan and Hong Kong. Now is K-pops, K-movies, is K-song, is very trendy. So Korean beauty can be a global standard. But maybe 10 years later, it can be changed. Right?
Of course.
So until the K-pops and the K-drama is the popular in the world, is K-beauty is very sustainable. But trend is change.
But I mean, like in America, there's not anywhere near, except for in Hollywood and maybe a couple of, there's not anywhere near as many procedures per capita as this is the plastic surgery country of the world. What do you don't practice aesthetics here, right? Yours is
sometimes.
Okay, so you contribute to it. What do you think about that? Like, if your daughter says, "Daddy, I think my nose isn't big enough," you say, "Hey, let's go, I'll fix it." Or do you say, "Hey, just that's who you are. Don't worry, you're fine. You're beautiful." No, Daddy, look at all these, and you fix some of these guys. Look, how do you approach that?
It's as the marketing view. If the price goes down, it's just more popular instead wherever. As for example, the botulinum toxin. I mean the Botox treatment is 15 years ago was 10 times higher than now in Korea. Now it become a super chips. So that's why everyone can do it. So
but when I look at you doing those things in Yangon, the threading thing, like,
whoa,
who would ever want that?
Whoa.
No, listen, ugly, pretty, whatever I am, I don't care. I'm just, this is who I am. And you know, like, man,
but hold on.
There's Korean boys that have more hwajampum than most of the girls in my country. And the lotions and potions and creams and,
but hold on,
oh my goodness.
To speak to that, a procedure could change someone's their inner confidence or whatnot. You spoke before about having before having a crooked tooth there, and once that's straightened out, you feel better. It's increased confidence. Where do you land on that?
Okay,
on that scale? And where do you cut the line? Because clearly there's a lot of cases of people overdoing it.
Okay.
Right.
And even starting in middle school with double eyelid surgery. Like when we came here, that was a present from your father. That was a graduation present from middle school was double eyelid surgery.
Yes.
You get a
hey daughter, you're ugly. You're never gonna get married. Here, I'm sending you for surgery.
I don't know if it's that.
Okay, so
it's not. But that's what's beautiful. So you're not beautiful. So get it done.
And the first of all is we live in the looking oriented society. So that's why the reason. And because and people they don't enjoy their inner beauty, they just enjoy
superficial.
Yeah, superficial.
But that doesn't last forever. Everybody's going to get old.
It could be that's true, but it could be a catalyst to something. Just to play devil's advocate.
Because sometimes it's but it is that's not the Korean situation. That's an Asian situations. In China, in Thailand, there are sometimes they have some news. The girl got a plastic surgery and her life totally changed. Suddenly she become a top actress. It's like that.
Sure.
Is there consultation before someone goes in, even for a simple procedure such as double eyelid surgery?
Sure.
You go in and you talk to them like, hey, this could lead to this. And, is there...
You could end up with a really good boyfriend or none at all if you only got one eye left.
Dude.
And also, that is as a doctor, that's my dilemma. Yeah. I have my brand in Australia. And I have my patent registered in Australia. Nice. It's maybe it's gonna be the registered in Korea also. And my mottos and logos is inner beauty come true. Because I want to someone says their beauty comes from inside, but usually the people we are too the beauty looking oriented society.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to be a change.
What kind of products have you patented?
Skin product.
We always laugh at the range of skin products here from I don't know if it's like a
Whitening sosu.
or a cucumber pack or a snail serum, or the one I laugh about the most is the baby penis,
foreskin.
the foreskin special there. You know what one we're talking about? They extract some I don't know what the hell.
Gochu pibu cells.
No.
Yeah. It cells from the foreskin.
Oh, okay. After the
circumcision.
they take the whatever from the elasticity from the.
No. I think since you talk about the placenta.
No.
That's
it's
another one.
Sandra Bullock endorsed this one.
Yeah.
No, you don't know that one? Okay.
Yeah.
How I imagined it, I thought they just
see your doctor's
usually Koreans say that when I'm like, and they're like, huh?
What's it called? The penis facial is how it was branded.
Facial,
yeah. And originally, I thought they just.
Okay, we'll send you one. We'll send you one next week.
Yeah, send me. That's a good product.
I had originally envisioned it as just like a circumcision, and you put them in a blender and you extract it into there. But apparently, it's a whole process.
Yeah.
For what?
What's that?
Beautiful skin.
For beautiful skin. Yeah.
K-beauty.
secret.
In Korea?
No.
They sell it abroad.
Sandra Bullock was the one. I think
she put it on Instagram or something, and it became.
Yeah, she ate bibimbap and got a penis facial. and now she looks great. She looks great for her age.
10 years younger. One facial.
Is there a secret ingredient in yours? If it's patented in Australia, are you swabbing the inside of a kangaroo pouch?
No.
What kind of? What's a special ingredient?
Don't worry, it's not from baby skin.
All right, that's good. That's good.
What is it like? You said doctors' community is known as an unsociable community, but your wife is a doctor.
Yeah.
And in Canada, I know, and many places where there's a lawyer, an attorney, or a judge and a lawyer that are spouses. Lots of times it doesn't work out because they're so busy. They have no time for each other. They don't see each other, and they're both just captivated by their work, and it ends up in a broken relationship. What is it like in a relationship with someone that's in the same field as you?
Oh,
We got to define love first, right? What in your needs and whatnot. Sorry,
I don't know, love, but what are the like the one quote or you had online there that one of the best things is you can practice testing or using your new concoctions with your wife. And the one picture has you guys putting the face creams and that would be a benefit that you can test and trial and bounce ideas off each other, but also she's busy with her stuff, you're busy with your stuff, no time, or what is it like?
First of all, is the reason sometimes is doctors they meet together is because they can understand each other. It's because we got the same stress, right? And sometimes you can't believe some patient they are.
I don't want the antibiotics. Can you believe it?
There's some patient they are so not easy to treat.
Yeah.
I mean the
obtuse.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to sometimes get a stress. Okay, and for example, so now we do some of the vaccination for the COVID-19, and we explain again and again and again. But patient, they suddenly say something wrong, give me a stress. And some patients, they are so irrational.
If they don't want their Jensen vaccine, just give me a call.
Call me, yeah.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
So we got the same stress.
Yeah.
So sometimes if I meet another doctors, it can be a chance for the ventilate.
Absolutely.
Is that typical in Korea? Because my wife is a public school teacher and so many of her friends are both teachers married to each other. Is that common in Korea that people in the same profession attract each other?
It's not for my wife and my case, but usually doctors, they always stay in hospitals so they can marry each other.
Right.
Nice.
Yep. So it's easily to meet and easily see, the out of sight, out of mind, inside sight, inside of mind,
Right. As long as it's not too much inside.
Yeah, long distance is not good, so always inside. Short distance.
Right.
I like it.
And also, we can share same knowledge, same experience together.
Yeah.
And and also, my wife and I, we have the same mottos in life. And in the morning before the lunchtime, we never talk about the money. That's the maximum rule. Because in the morning we talk about the money. We always whole the days we think about the money,
Right.
and we can lose something.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we always talk about the money after the dinner.
Yeah, good.
That's
It's
awesome.
good to have those kind of relationship rules
Yep,
and
yep.
stuff. If it's look at your phone or whatever it is, it's good to have those.
That's awesome.
Well, I think you've dispelled a lot of the rumors or so-called myths, and I think a lot of the foreign community will enjoy listening to some of your explanations for some of these things. So really, really glad we had the opportunity to sit down with you.
Yeah, and also I never give my mobile number to the Korean patient because they call sometimes for nothing. I mean, the
We
small
won't put it
things.
on.
But I always give my mobile numbers, name card for the foreign patients because it's I always open my mobiles 24 hours. And because as a foreigners in Vietnam, in Myanmar, I totally understand what they feel
Right.
as a foreigners in Ulsan. Okay, so today I'm also giving my name card to you guys, and you can just call me 24 hours. It's available.
What time do you wake up on Sunday?
Yeah, it's okay. But I always, when I give my name cards for my foreign patient, I always remind them only for the medical issue.
Yeah.
Don't call me when you have no money for the bar.
When you have no money for the bar.
My wife wants me to do dishes, but I did them yesterday. What do you think? Can you weigh in on this?
Well, we appreciate that, and the foreign population in the city here also appreciates it. I know you guys also, your wife does some charitable stuff. We're also involved in that, so I hope maybe in the future we can discuss more and maybe get involved and cross-promote or do some of those things, collaborate on some projects together for that as well.
Awesome.
Yep.
So-
And I have my last thing to talk.
Yeah.
And when I decided invest my money in the Myanmar, and I got shocked because it's it looked like the 20 years ago Vietnam's the first day what I felt in Vietnam's I felt exactly 5 years ago in Yangon. That's why I decided to invest money. And today is just a lot of bombings is near my clinic and hospitals in Yangon, and I'm not worried about my investment. I'm not worried about my money. I can't lose all my money in Yangon, but it's okay. But I'm just worried about my safety of my steps. Today is I have 25 Western doctor and 70 steps, and in four cities, 4 clinics in Vietnam and in Myanmar. And I'm trying to just to worry about my safety of my steps in Yangon. And yesterday's I donate my money for the Burmese society in Korea. Please pray for the democracy of the Myanmar. And if you have please join all the campaigns in Korea for the Burmese and Yangon.
Can people find information on your social media?
Yes, and if you have any second old clothes, please donate, and we can send for the Myanmar.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
We will get that information. We'll post it on our site for all those.
Yes, I have a connection to send the cargo from Incheon to Yangon, and also you can send the old clothes, old garments.
Yeah.
And yep.
Awesome.
Yep. I'm not asking the money. I'm just asking the clothes.
No problem. Listen, thank you very much for coming. We'll end on that. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's cut. Please don't forget to check out our sponsor, Dr. English. It is your one-stop shop for all of your English conversational needs. Enjoy learning from the comfort of your own home. Call 010 4591-1496 right now for a sample class. Take your English to the next level by visiting their website at www.dr-english.com. Open your door to endless opportunities. Dr. English!